Chaplain Miguel for a few words and go back. Miguel, Chaplain Miguel Cotto. I'm from the Lower East Side. Really beyond great friend of mine, a mentor, and I know as a family and friends, it was a blessing to all of us, to the music, a failure in the community, and again, a mentor to many of us and to the young generation. I just want to, again, thank you for all coming today here on behalf of the Miguel family. And I just want to say a quick prayer, and if you all could say the prayer, which is the Father's prayer, which is, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass. And lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Amen. Gracias, and I want to pass the mic on down. And again, it's not goodbye, it's we will see you very soon. We love you, we will be there. Yeah.
So hello everyone. For those of you who don't know, I'm Freddie Millan. I am Will's brother. So many of you remember me very small. So it's been a hot minute. So thank you all for coming. On behalf of Colin, myself, and our families, I wanted to thank everyone for being here today and for the ongoing support that you provided us during this difficult time. I also wanted to thank Colin's nephew Jason and George for setting up the live stream today, so folks who couldn't be able to share the moment with us. Thanks to Luis Litre Rodriguez, who wants to play a danza for us in Will's honor later in the program. Thanks to my wife Maria and children Ed, Marcus, and Freddie, who are sitting here for helping Carmen and I put together the pictures that are displayed today. My brother Will was a complex person. He was brilliant, compassionate, creative, stubborn, proud, and loving. He cared for people not only through his work as a social worker, but also as a friend and family member. He'd spend hours speaking with people, providing wisdom, guidance, and an empathic ear. I can't say how many times folks have approached me to tell me how meaningful the conversations with Will were today. Will was generative, creating art and music over the span of his life that will serve as part of his legacy. He had relationships with many of you in the room on many of the shared projects that he had. Many have referred to him as a maestro. I think that title fits as it accurately reflects both his ability as a composer and musician and as a teacher in wellspring of information. He honored his history growing up on the Lower East Side, his beloved Lower East Side. He valued the experiences and lifelong friendships that he developed there. He deeply loved his family. His 40-plus year love affair with Carmen has been epic. I have to say, Carmen, I never doubted your love for him, and this has been, you've been a great partner. He's always been there for me, my wife, and our children. I know that he'll be missed, but I also know he's in a better place now for mommy, papi, and the rest of our family. He's free from the burdens of physical limitations and can thrive in his ideas, creativity, spirituality, and love. Thank you all for being here to share this time together. And we wanted to give you all a chance, if anybody wanted to speak, to share your memories. I know you're down. Come on up. You've been telling me this for we got it. That's all good. No, I appreciate it. I mean, he's love, so thank you.
Primero que nada, buenas tardes. Gracias por asistir a esta ceremonia para un amigo increíble. Y lo que yo voy a leer, yo hablo inglés, vive en Massachusetts, no pudo llegar, pero él conoció a Willy hace un año atrás, y en ese año ellos hablaron inmensamente. Y sobre su conexión con la cuestión cultural. Y dice así, Pablo Iglesias, William Millan was born in New York City, as we all know, and grew up in the Rhode Island neighborhood in Manhattan. He was a bassist, jazz player, composer, arranger, band leader, and historian of Rhode Island. In his 20s, Millan changed careers and worked as a show worker in New York for 35 years. Willie's interest in the roots of Latin music led him on an intellectual journey to understand the cultural history of the Caribbean, Europe, and Africa. As Willie once said about his interpretation of salsa in an interview, I was studying Cuban music because I wanted to know where it came from, but I didn't want to play it the same way, because it was impossible. I wanted to mix it with what I learned, which came from rock and jazz, and the years I was playing boogaloo music that have to have a new sound. Acting in the fruits of his investigations, Willie founded and collected the salsa group SAOCO in 1974, along with every flow, to get the CONJUNTO his name. The traditional song model with a more aggressive urban approach that came from the streets of the Lower East Side that was really loved this neighborhood. It was a hardcore Lower East Side. Eso no hay duda de eso. And Millan's youthful background in rock and rhythm and blues. The first album was the classic LP, Siempre Seré Guajiro. Ese disco se vendió por todo el mundo. Y antes me dio a mí, que cuando en África, en Japón, pedían ese disco, había una nota que decía, si el disco de SAOCO no está en la lista, no me va a tener todos los discos, por favor. And that says a lot about the album and the production. SAOCO wasn't the only musical legacy led by Willie led us. Earlier in his career, he played bass with his friend Johnny Colon's orchestra. They were very, very good friends, and they had a lot of projects in mind, including to start a school over here on 9th Street. Co-producing, arranging, and playing bass on the 1975 LP, Tierra Va Temblar. Additionally, he arranged for Yambu on several records and was playing bass on African singer Amadi Balaquez's album Afro Charanga, and on former SAOCO bandmate and pianist Rey Santiago, Lluvia con Salsa. In 2019, we created the website El de Loisaida with his childhood friend from the neighborhood, the pianist and arranger from Berlin. Okay. The blog is a fountain of information dedicated to promoting the cultural richness and history of Loisaida. Pablo Iglesias, who wrote these remembrances and met Willie through his cultural work, he and Willie talked on and on for a year or so. Willie was really interested in the art and photography of Pablo's friend, Charlie Rosario, who is present over here, and we ended up doing in a photo studio in Avenue C, founded by George Truly Pepe Flores. And I have to say that when I opened that place, Willie was crucial He was a mentor. He was always telling me, Pepe, you have to do this, Pepe, you have to do that. And then, and if I didn't do it, he would call me, hey, ¿qué pasó con Luis? And he also gave me involved with the logo of La Sala de Pedro, which I treasure it. Someday we'll go in the museum or something like that. So, for those interested in Willie Millan and his work, aside from his discography and the blog, there is the William Millan Music Collection at the Center for Puerto Rican Studies. The collection consists of invaluable historical documents, including videotapes, audio cassettes, CDs, and flyers, and other promotional documents for SAOCO and the voice of Puerto Rican poets, writers, theater playwrights, and Taino culture. The materials from the date from the 1970s all the way through the 1990s, and Willie was also a writer. He wrote poetry, and he wrote fiction, and he published it himself. In conclusion, there are two quotations from William Millan, and this is very important because it says a lot about his work later in life, that reveal a little more about who he was as a creative, intelligent, and humble soul. I wasn't a very good history and geography student when I was in school. It wasn't until I really got into the music that I realized that it's not that I don't like history and geography. It's just that I really love history and geography. But the information that they were giving me in school that I couldn't relate to because it had nothing to do with what I was living. If you go into the music and you check out the artist's life, that's going to give you a true education of history. And their body work, you're going to see what the truth is. I still can't believe how successful SAOCO was because it came from almost nothing. We were a few kids from a barrio de Gonzaga who get together and then they are playing Madison Square Garden. And they also, you don't know, he did a concert at Lincoln Center donde estaba Cachao, it was a whole bunch of music. I think it was put together by René Lopez. And that was an incredible concert. And let me tell you, there was a few guys over here that we were in the second row cheering for that band that day. And people were like, who are these guys? They thought we were kind of dogs or something, but no. We were Los Isleños that were there to support a band from our neighborhood that became known all over the world. That was Willie Millan, and we thank you to the family. I never met you, but I knew him. I remember the last time that he came to my house with Louis Perez, we had a long conversation about these kids from the school on 12th Street, and Willie recommended the teacher to come to my house and look at the collection that I had, and for me to talk to them about the neighborhood. He already talked to them, but he wanted somebody, another person from the neighborhood. So Willie was always, a really great friend. Not only that, his mother was my daughter's babysitter when they had a family right there. So, we had a big connection. Whenever I was doing an event and I needed a mic or a mic stand or a speaker, I knew I could go to Willie and he would lend it to me. So it's an honor for me to do this for Willie. We will always remember him, and I have plans for the Louisiana Festival next year to be dedicated to Willie. And that's
William was my godmother, along with my godmother, two of, unarguably, instrumentally, two of the most critical people that I have known in my life that were able to help forge and shape, and not just my heart, but my soul, to become the man that I'm standing here today. Many people who have known him through his numerous exploits have put it eloquently: kind, nurturing, a genius for his craft, very passionate in both music and his love to everyone else. I'm proud to stand here today and look at this room. While it may be a bit cramped, it is a standing testament to the number of hearts and souls that he was able to touch and guide all the way up to this room right now. So I thank all of you. I don't know all of you, but I know that you share the same love that I have for him. It is no contest because his love was boundless. We come here today in memory of him, to share stories of him, to share our loving praise for him. Because out of most people on this earth, I know without a shadow of a doubt that he has earned that most splendid reward where he is able to express the next stage of his life in boundless creativity. More than most people, I know that he has earned that reward very gently. And so I look forward to carrying with me the memories, the experiences, the lessons, the wisdom that such a timeless, experienced treasure of a man has been able to impart on me. I will continue to spread the works, ambitions, and memory of my godfather for as long as I walk this earth. And I encourage the rest of you to join me in doing the same. Let us follow by his example, his love, his wisdom, all that he has given us, so that we can stand just as proud as he did when it's our turn to claim our just rewards. It will be a lucky to see you.
My name is Louis Perez, and como Pepe was saying, I'm one of the group, lo extrañando de aquí, con Tomás y toda esta gente que están aquí. And I want to keep it short, but Willie was my compadre, my daughter's godfather. He was my brother. Some people say, you know, your brother is the one that has blood. Well, he was my brother. Spoke to him often, fought with him often, and he would come out and say, I don't do that. I wanted to share something that, so we keep it on the light, especially since he knows I'm talking. He's going, oh. I wanted to share with you that there's something that he kept under the racks. And I don't know if some of you knew this, but he was actually Freddie Fender. How many of you knew this? How many people knew this? It's Freddie Fender. He confided in me. One day I saw him and I went, Dile la verdad, Guillermo. Is it true? Well, his music tastes were eclectic, to say the least, but he was Freddie Fender. I know there's a lot of people that want to talk, but I just wanted to let you know, and you guys know it already, but that's why you're here. By the way, this hat was given to me by Guillermo, one of my prized possessions. Pero he's such a special human being, so kind, so humble. And then I used to get mad with him because he was so talented. Every time he would tell me he's doing something new, and I'm saying, what is he doing? You stood online when God was giving out talent? You know, he was from the Lower East Side, so I believe that's what he did. And I just wanted to say again to Carmen, she knows how much I love him and love her, because she was the love of his life, and I always would go, when we would visit them, I would go, man, I'm so jealous of the union you guys have. And I know he's right here with us, and he's saying, Louis, wrap it up. They like it. I'm lonely here, they like it. So I just wanted to say, Willie, I'm gonna miss you. It's a big void. I don't have someone that I can call like I used to call him. and we would start talking about the things that are going on in our world. And I remember him always saying, well, you know, a lot of it is our fault. We allowed this to occur. And I'm saying, yeah, but you know, we're still doing a little, el granito que tenemos nosotros, we could change the world in our little way. We have to do that. And then that would seem to calm him down. But he did his part. His legacy is not only music, not only the procedures he established with HRA and aid services, his poetry, his touch and help to whoever needed help. So his grano is right there. He's in his castle. And I just wanted to say, I'm just so happy. I'm a better human being because I had known this guy. And there are people here who I want to shout out to. Henry Fio, Tomás Carini, who came from Puerto Rico, like I did. Pepe Flores, Timbalito, one of the greatest musicians that I have ever met. He's back there, he says he can't handle it, but he was the Timbalito for Conjunto SAOCO. And I remember going to their rehearsals, we rehearsed on 12th Street in the basement, and I always wanted to be part of the group. So I said, can I sing coro? And they heard me sing one time, and they said, no, you could become a bad one. I failed to see the video. You're supposed to be good. Floating, Willie, te quiero mucho, siempre te voy a querer. My daughter misses you. My daughter's sorry that she couldn't be here. She's in Florida. Pero thank you for being a part of my life. And all my friends here from the Lower East Side. This is us. Cuídense mucho. Que Dios lo bendiga a todos.
Charlie, ¿me ves eso?
How you doing, everybody? So, William knew so many people. I haven't met maybe 5% of the people here, but I know that all William did was connect people in this world. I met William officially, became friends with him maybe 4 years ago when I lost my father. And, you know, I was in a really rough place, you know, trying to navigate the world. My father was such a big part of my life. And once I lost him, William came into my life and he gave me that fatherly advice that I needed. So that's because I was searching. I didn't know where I was going. And we always talked. We would talk for hours. And not just music, it was life, God, everything that, William was such a wise person that you could talk to him about anything in the world and he'd have the time to talk at length about it. So he was a great teacher. I consider him my dear mentor, not only with music, but with the way he was with people. And I hope that I can carry that on in my life, because he's very important to me. So I want to thank everybody for coming here. And, God bless you, William Millan. Thank you.
What's your name?
I have
Good afternoon, everyone. Some of you guys might say, man, that guy looks familiar. And I just got that actually from Louis. I don't know where exactly. We were just back there and almost started crying. So I'm going to tell you my name. My name is Phil Cachi Velez. And my father was Phil People Velez, the conguero for SAOCO. Right. That is correct. I live in Miami now, and the minute I heard, I jumped on the flight. There was no way I was not going to be here. You've known me since I was a little boy. So I know, I'm dating myself now. And I have to tell you that Willie's creation of SAOCO was a huge influence in my life. Between what he did and my dad, the way he played, inspired me to want to be a musician. I called him about maybe 7, 8 years ago, and I asked for permission to use the name because that's how much I loved what they did. Your voice, till this day, is still amazing, and that's part of it. Just understand that. And I saw you in Miami when you came down and you hung out with me, so thank you. And I asked to use the name, and he said yes. And that's how much what he created, the legacy that he has left behind, means to me and means to this barrio. So I just wanted to share that story because Willie Millan will live on forever en este barrio and en el mundo entero, because everywhere you go, they talk about SAOCO. And I know that because I've traveled and I've heard it. And I just want to let you know that all the years that I've known him, and obviously you know me, he's always been an inspiration. And so I thank him.
Las flores y la lluvia me acompañan para hacer de mi vida una promesa. Me arrebata el pensamiento la distancia para hacer de mi vida una promesa. Ya la ramada se secó, el cielo el agua le negó, así tu altivo corazón no me escuchó. Como avellante buscando alivio a mi dolor, con la lloranza del tu amor. Yo viviré en mi viejo San Juan, cuántos sueños borré de mi tiempo de infancia. Primera ilusión y mi juega de amor sobre el vuelo del alma. Una tarde partí, hace extraña oración, pero quiso el destino, pero mi corazón quedó cerca del mar de mi viejo San Juan. Adiós, Urique querida. Adiós, adiós, si Dios sabe mal. Me voy, pero un día volveré a buscar mi querer, a soñarlo otra vez, de mi viejo San a buscar mi querer, a soñar otra vez en mi viejo San Juan, a buscarlo otra vez, encontrarlo otra vez. En mi viejo San Juan. San Juan.
I can talk. You're right. So I'm not going to play guitar. So even though I did take lessons, my parents kind of forced me. I hated it at the time, but now I love it. But every Saturday, I would go over to their house and play. He was a huge influence on me. I'm going to tell you a story. There was one time when I thought I was in, I was taking guitar lessons from him. I played bass guitar in high school. And he had this amazing $1,000 5-inch bass. It looked like a lightning bolt. And back in the 80s, that was cool. And I was a poor kid, I didn't have a gun. So he lent it to me. I did the concert, I was it. You know, it was cool, I was the coolest kid in the block. I returned it about a month later. But something was wrong with it. It was playing weird. I didn't say anything, so I just gave it to him. He didn't say anything, but then like last time when I went again for one of the lessons, he said, "You know that Ibanez that I lent you, that real expensive thing? Did you break it?" I started sweating. What happened, you know? So he let me suffer for about 15 minutes, and then finally he told me, he goes, "It was a 9-volt battery, you gotta replace it inside." So the pickup stick that 9-volt, and I was fine. So he's like, "I fixed it, don't worry." And I was like, "Man." But you know, that's the kind of guy he was. He was always quiet, but yet like very funny to me. And he was a big influence in general. So I'm gonna miss him, but he's always gonna be with us. He's here right now. It's funny because the camera, I'm gonna turn this, there's a glare right here, and Will was never the person, like, he was always kind of didn't want to be in the spotlight all the time. And it's really funny because he's blocking his image from here. So I have to turn this to do it because of the lighting. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy this. I always thought that funerals are the best thing. Every cloud has a silver lining, and it brings everybody together. And I first saw that when I was in Puerto Rico on my grandmother passed. So I'm choking up a little bit, but Will was a great person, and it was very surprising to me. But he lives on, at least through me, and I know through everybody else. He affected a lot of people and everywhere else. Interactivity. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Those that don't know me, my name is Tommy. I'm original from the Lower East Side. I will speak to William Millan like once a month. My uncle is original band member of La Vida. This was before SAOCO. It's called La Vida. My uncle Ray is back there, so in Valeros and Bongocero. And growing up as a kid in the Lower East Side, my uncle, that was my inspiration in the music. And I met Willie when I was a little kid. My uncle took me to several of the rehearsals they used to have on Clinton and Ray Santiago, the piano player's house. And that is the reason why I started a band called the Lower East Salsa Band. That was my inspiration. William Young. And like I said, I spoke to him, common note, we would speak like once a month of ideas. And William had so many ideas, he had a dictionary, encyclopedia for music. It was just amazing. He would just give me advice. I would take that. We would speak for like 2 hours with ideas, right? At least common knows I need for like 2 hours. As I stand here before you today, I drove from Jersey over here today, but it was just like all week, last 2 weeks, it's just been thinking of the good times and listening to the music that William, Henry, and the rest of the guys. William's music lives on forever. I'm a little nervous up here today. I'm a little choked up. I'm trying to get the words out the best way that I can. Carmen, I'm just a phone call away. William Young lives forever. So with that said, I have some music that me and William B. Young have spoke about, and in the future we're going to be doing something and remembering William B. Young. SAOCO.
So personally, I'm with Charlie Rosario. I got to meet William in the end, I would say. I met him less than 2 years ago. We started speaking over the phone. We found out we had more in common than we either of we could have met, And I said, well, trying to introduce myself to him. I said, you know, so I know who you are. A lot of people know who you are. I said, but my face ain't better than I said, it doesn't matter your face is your heart. That means stupid. I became, from the late 60s, I became an album cover designer. I went to art school, then I went to a school that I went to this year. I started working my way up with some strange designs that hadn't been seen on the Latin scene. So William knew about me from there, from the Tio Puente album in '68. And we used to talk sometimes twice a week on the phone and for quite a while, looking for a way to hang up, but we couldn't hang up. So we just interesting about what he talks about. And so I'm here today, I'm a little choked up, so I can't really speak. I'm glad you have met him. He was patient enough to listen to some of my songs over the telephone, and he said, give me a chance, I'm gonna work something out. And I even started trying to say, I can't believe this is true. And again, somebody's going to hear my song and look who it is. It's going to do. I can't have him believe it, but I'm glad to have gotten that close enough to him. And then I did it, and we had some difficulties getting here, but I said, I got to be there today. This is it. So, when I came in, was going to get started, so I was very fortunate to catch it from the beginning to the end. Y empezaron y no sé qué más, pero estamos en un país y se elaborando cosas. Tenían mucho en común que lo podíamos notar. Y me dijo, gotta get together. Sé que no así, pero lo llevo en mi corazón porque estuvo tiempo y me llamaba y hablaba y hablaba. Y yo, I'm not we didn't talk our ears off, you know. But it was very nice of them to give me a good time and mind so we could mingle it up and say, wow, maybe we're on the verge of something. We don't know until we take that step, you know. And well, he will always be in my heart, man. He'll be one of the persons that I met. I know him from the days of SAOCO because that was my favorite group. Anyway, you know, I said, they got the phone. They really got the phone. While there was all the orchestras around, but they played some really orchestras, but there was some that went right to the lady piano, right to the double. And to me, that was SAOCO. So I really appreciated that a lot. And
I know you hot.
I give him my hat, you know where it's coming, right?
Everybody has a hat. Everybody has a hat.
Thanks to you, that. Muchas gracias, and thank you. Sí.
Hello, my name is Tony Quadraro. I met Willie in 1971. We both went to Cardinal Hayes High School together. We were seniors, and they were having a concert. And so Willie's rock band and my rock band both performed at the concert. After the concert, we exchanged phone numbers. 2 years later, Willie called me up and said he was looking for a drummer. So I accepted. And I brought my drums. I lived in the Bronx at the time. Brought my drums down to the Lower East Side. And we rehearsed in a couple buildings down from where Willie lived in the basement. And when we rehearsed, we were hoping to get a band together that would do the Chicago music, basically horns. And we rehearsed, but we never got the horns. But it was a good time anyway. I would come down on Friday nights, it was music night, we would play. We'd drink some beers and have a few laughs. It was always a good time. We did that for a year or two, at which time we both went our separate ways. I went back to the Bronx. Willie went on to really become a Latin music lover. He got his baby bass, he got good at it, and of course, he co-founded SAOCO, and he went on to do that. We lost touch for 40 years. We reconnected. I went to Willie's house, and it was like we never lost each other. And for many years now, we would talk on the phone. I would visit him, play music. We would talk about music. We would share different artists together. Hey, Willie, check this out, check that out. He would send me music. He would send me his projects, his Lower East Side projects. Fantastic. And he was really very talented, as everybody else here has already attested to. So, I mean, I've been really... Thank you, Willie.
Anybody else want to say something?
hope somebody else is going to follow me because the idea is to keep the ball going in speeches. I go back a long time with Willie. I remember him from St. Bridget's when I used to be a teacher. He used to have his little rock group, and to give you like a nutshell, after that, we started SAOCO together, and unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand what happened, so that's why I wanted to clear it up a little bit. I never had a problem with Willie or any of the musicians. I had a problem with the record company. So what happened is that I went my way and Willie went his way, and there was a time when there was 2 SAOCOs on the street until the court case was resolved. But I never really had a problem with Willie. Willie was always my buddy. And a very interesting thing happened. After a couple of years went by, my daughter was very little at the time, and she was looking out the window, and she saw a break-in downstairs in St. Emerick's Church. And she was a minor, so I had to go and speak for her to the grand jury. So I go downtown and to the grand jury, and who's on the grand jury? Willie. And it was a blessing from up above because we were able to forget all of that problem that we had, and we were able to get together, and we've been buddies ever since. And he did arrangements for me on a few of my albums. We talk on the phone sometimes for an hour or two, nonstop, and he's such a generous person, big heart. And anytime something would come up in the conversation, like some music or author of a book, a couple of days later, I find a book in the mail from Willie, or I find CDs in the mail from Willie. It's like he was all about giving. And all I can say is that I owe a lot to Mr. MILLAN, Mr. Willie MILLAN. I don't want to cover you up, bro. I owe you a lot, and I'm always gonna miss you. Okay, and that's all I have to say. Wow.
Small world, because my mom was ABC for you. That was my art teacher in grammar school.
That's white, I concur with you because he was also my teacher back in the day.
That was your brother.
As we do quick before David, my name is Elizabeth. David used to play with Willie. I had to have my house once or twice common or Willie. They love my cooking, I don't know why. But David always said, Willie is my brother. And we've been married 8 years. And he was the one that inspired me to go to school. I was social worker in a guidance counselor. Somebody inspired me to go to school. And I was able to get 2 masters. And I got to thank God and Willie. So just my husband David, he wants to share.
My son was David Silva. Willie was my brother. My family moved into 7th Street in 1957. He was 5, I was 8. That's how far back we go. My brother. And we grew up together. We got on. One afternoon, it was a Saturday. It was starting the lockdown, like they said. Apparently, the drummer they had was in place. So he came over to my place himself personally. He said, look, I have a rehearsal. I would like for you to come down. Came down, the rest was history. I was the drummer for the next close to 5 years. When the band broke up,
he went into Latin music and stopped playing for 5 years. 5 years later, I'm in Latin music. Percussionist, did it on my own, self-taught. And that lasted me another 5 years. I did a few bands and whatnot. That was it. After that time, going back to the late 70s, early 80s, I had the music. Then I came back and played a couple of gigs with Louis Ayala. You know, he called me again, and when I did it, I pretty much was out of improv. But I did it because out of friendship. And around that time, a year or two later, I met my wife, late 1989, December. Following month, January of 1990, on towards the tail end, she had invited me. We are now members of Brooklyn Tabernacle. I don't know if anyone is familiar with it. Brooklyn Tabernacle, 17 Smiths. You're all invited. And it's funny, I wasn't playing music, but I was kind of like doing the scene, hanging out and whatnot. I went to the Canadian maybe 2 or 3 times. And I'm looking and I'm seeing women with tight short skirts. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, this looks like a meat market. I went to ask the girl out again, holding up the wall, no thanks. I said, oh, okay. That didn't last long. Okay, that stopped. I'm taking a shower one night. And I'm getting ready to go out. The Lord puts in my mind, it says, the next wife is going to be a Christian woman. Okay? She was already attending Brooklyn Tabernacle. I wasn't. Okay? I'm a PK, but they would call a pastor's kid. I backstreet when I was like 16, 17. Up to the time that I met my wife, 41. So he kept me out there safe, you know. After we had stopped playing, that's when they started setting the nightclubs on fire. He kept me, because nothing happened, man. As crazy as that when, you know, we were playing out there. So he was looking out for me, you know. And so he spoke to me, and I listened, my heart was burning. I said, that would work for me, a godly Christian woman. Lo and behold, as I said, I met her, okay? She invited me to church, I said yes, okay? And it was because I wanted to be with her, you know? God, I wasn't fully there yet, you know? So, a month went by, I didn't hear from her. She called on Sunday at work. Because I used to work for the boutique, and they would open on Sunday. And I was like a little upset. I said, look, you told me you invited me. I told you I would go with you. But a month goes by, and I didn't hear from you. I was going to go to church, because I want to go to church with you. You know? So, sure enough, the following Sunday was on date. I went to church for her. And as you can see, the rest was history. You know, 6 months later, I gave her an engagement ring. We married 6 months after we met. We've been together going on 35 years. I pray for the honor of God. He has kept us like glue, but He's kept us together.
They would get together on the phone for hours. I'm in the kitchen, I'm like, with my brother. They just really, truly loved each other. And I got to love him, the gentle giant. Really. We loved them. We didn't get in touch with your house because of the pandemic. But I personally would say, great person. It is with the Lord Jesus. And one day we're going to see him again. Hallelujah. Thank you. Pictures of you. I will get that in media.
One last call. Oh, shoot. I have a sore throat, so you forgive me. My name is Johnny Cole from the Johnny Cole Orchestra. Willie was my brother. We went back a whole lot of years, maybe not as long as you had. But I can recall having Willie at my mother's house, which is where we used to rehearse on the projects on 102nd Street. That was our rehearsal studio. Of course, we played, and all the community would come around and dance outside until they would knock on the doors and say, "You gotta stop." The thing about Willie is that he always had something to say. It was always something good, something that touched your heart. So, and we also had conversations that maybe didn't touch your heart, but we always met together because we had this in common. We were put here to love each other, yes, to support each other, yes, to lift people up when they're down, to make sacrifices for people like my grandmother used to make when nobody could eat and we had food, everybody ate. That was Willie. Willie was a walking dictionary because he knew so much about so many things. I said, Willie, you know, you were in the business for so many years, you're a great bass player. Why did you leave? He said, because there wasn't enough around me in terms of where I wanted to go. I wanted to help people more than I could help them at that time. I wanted to become a social worker. He didn't have to. He didn't have to. But he became a social worker, helping people for many, many, many years until he retired from that. I got stories from him where he extended a hand where he wasn't supposed to, behind the organization, because someone came into the welfare department and they didn't treat him like a human being, and he saw it, he would say, "Mira, mami, ven a ver acá, and he would get these people through. And that's what we have to do for everybody. That's what he wanted. That's what he did all of his life. He spoke good things, good words. And what he couldn't understand, he reached out and tried to understand. Our conversations we had conversations for hours. So Willie was my family, and he was my brother. And I've never seen a better human being or a better man. And she's a testament to this wonderful couple. So I'm here, not so much in my sadness, but I'm here because I'm going to be happy for the rest of my life because I have him with me. He will never die. If somebody says Willie to me, I'll say, yeah, I know him because I knew him. And he's a great man, and I'm going to miss him.
Going once?
Going twice.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to, say the words that I want to say. You can do it, Kiki. I have to write it down because
That's all right.
if I can't finish this, I got somebody here that can finish it for me. But I'm gonna try my best. And that was my first line. Please forgive me and bear with me if I cannot get through my final words. To and about will, without tears or a crack in my voice. Sácame esto, please. Tengo veo.
Haciendo que
I can't say it. Here we go. Ahora sí. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. And I thank all our friends and family that are live streaming right now. A very special thanks to Fred, which is Will's brother, as you all know now. Maria, Fred's wife. Thank you, Maria. My nephews, Jason and George. And my three princes over here that helped me during this week time for me with all my photos. Thank you so much. They were the ones in charge of putting all the photos in. Mucha gente to thank you. Esto, my dear friend Sol, that's like my twin sister. Thanks, Sol. We're gonna have someone, and he's probably here, Luis Rodriguez. I know him as Chitres. So when someone called me saying, "Este es Luisito Rodriguez," I was like, okay, I'm sorry, I can't recognize the name. I said, I remember somebody I used to play chess. We used to call him Chitres. You can see, ese soy yo. So, about Will, he's been my companion, my comforter, my friend, for 44 years. I mean, I knew him before that, maybe 47 years, because estábamos de noviazgo, you know? 47 years of my life, yes. We were both very stubborn. I mean, there wasn't one that he wasn't that I wasn't back at him. So, teníamos el mismo carácter, that's for sure. We had our issues, but with God's help, we were constantly working through them. He also made me laugh, especially his smile, his smart remarks out of nowhere. When I first met Will, I thought he was this quiet, reserved young man. But little did I know, as we say in Spanish, tenía la música por dentro. I mean, literally, and in more than one way, right? Okay, which to me it translates to, don't let the color fool you. There's something stirring or brewing within. I was and am so very proud of the man he was, and he'll always be for me. He's very generous, as everyone here has attested to. Thank you for that. Very giving. He finds a way of getting people together that otherwise would probably have never known one another. He made the connection. And he was a problem solver. Excuse me, a problem solver. I'd always say, when there's a will, there's a way. Will's legacy will never die as long as everyone continues to speak his name, read his books, listens to his music, and continue to visit his website and his pages. There's a lot of information there for everyone that he gave for everyone. He's always giving. I ask you all to please continue to keep in touch, keep his name and his legacy alive. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
You all can continue to mingle. We have the best player coming in a little bit to play a danza for us. And we have three players. Yes.
I just want to say something from here. There is a CD that will be coming out in December. Okay. There is a CD that will be coming out in December. Mr. Joe Gonzalez is not here present, but I know he's going to come and been here. And there's a production coming out in December. This will be his third. And Joe Gonzalez and William collaborated on a tune, and he'll be part of the CD. And as it was mentioned, they have the website. Yes. The websites, because they're multiple. And many important people on that website. And I hope that website is intact and that it keeps growing and keeps developing.
On that note, if you don't mind, Henry, I'm going to piggyback off of what you just said.
Yeah.
The title of that tune, or one of those tunes that you're referring to, was the last piece of music that Will was working on. And the name of the title is Life is Grand. So I just found that to be very touching, and I just wanted to share that with you all. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Standing ovation of
I went to your wedding. Yes. Yeah, I went to your wedding with David when we first got married. We were married like 6 months or something. Yeah, thank you so much.